Well, thank you, brother. I think the old adage is wisdom comes from experience. And you can see me back there as a young fighter posing for a fight poster that actually never happened. I was supposed to fight some, God, I think his name was Eric Newman or something. He was a black guy, and I was supposed to fight him Muay Thai rules, which back then meant only knees, no elbows, because after all, it was an amateur fight in California. And I remember what my personality was then, and I talk about this in my book. My first Muay Thai coach, the guy who would train me for that fight, was a fraud, and because he was a fraud, excuse me, he trained in quirky ways. But I recognized, in retrospect, obviously, because I hadn't lived, that my personality was at the point where nobody was going to tell me what to do anyway, and I knew everything. I was the toughest guy in elementary school. I was the toughest guy in high school. I was the toughest guy in college. I was going to be the toughest guy here. And it's okay to have that mentality. That's a great thing. But what about the fact that you don't really know fighting yet? And that's just, listen. Every young fighter I train with today, the first time I get in the ring with them, they think of me as an old man, and they quickly learn I'm not. But there's different ego ways to protect that. Guys do things, and I've talked about this in the book. My trainer, that guy we were talking about, used to do this. He'd put me in like soccer shin pads, like the real cloth light ones, and he'd use Muay Thai shin pads. So my kicks hurt me more than him, right? It was a way to rig the deck. I watch the young guys with me. They try to rig the deck with me, or they start going really hard because they don't like the fact that I'm better than them. But I'm better than them because I have the experience and the wisdom. And I think, we all slow down with age and we're able to reflect a little bit better. Some people never reflect at all. And that's why some fighters can't make that crossover into trainer. But look, being fair, I'm not the best trainer myself. I don't have patience for that personality, those young kids. I don't have any patience for that. That's a skill to have patience for those young, hard knot fighters that think they know everything. I mean, even now, look, even just training jiu-jitsu, there's this perception that I go too hard, and I've got to deal with that on my own level, and that's ego at play. I'm sure both for me and for them. But as far as knowledge goes, man, I love the fight game so much. I will listen to everybody's point of view, and I'm going to give you my point of view back. And I've been studying the game my entire life. When I was 10, 11 years old, not only was I taking karate and wrestling, but I was also reading boxing magazines cover to cover every week, right? When magazines still really existed. So my knowledge comes from depth, the same depth you see behind there when I still had hair. But yeah, man, thank you. I love the fact you love the show. I'll keep doing it because I love the show too. And if you love this show, read my book, Warrior of the Light.